Hey guys, and welcome back. Today I just want to address some of the points that Joe Rogan made on his podcast the other day. So I'm going to play a few now and then I'm going to give my opinions.
And video games are a real problem. They're a real problem. You know why? Because they're fucking fun.
Addictive.
And you don't, I have a real problem with them. And you do them and they're real exciting, but you don't get anywhere.
Right.
It's like you could do like martial arts, right? You could learn jujitsu. You get obsessed by jiu-jitsu, and then 3 years later, you're like an elite jiu-jitsu athlete. You're entering in competitions. You're a purple belt.
You're moving up.
Yeah, you're doing well.
Right.
You're thinking like, I might be able to open my own school one day.
You got confidence.
Yeah, if I have 100 students and those 100 students are paying me X amount of dollars per month, I can make a living. Holy shit, I can have this would be amazing. And then you see your jiu-jitsu school, and your jiu-jitsu instructor has all these students and drives a Mercedes, and he's got a nice family, and like, that's the future. This way, you're doing something exciting and fun, and you don't. Or you could just be playing fucking video games. 3 years later, you could be that same kid just playing video games, waiting for the next whatever the fuck game is, next Xbox game to come out, and you're gonna waste your time.
There are a lot of things that I want to say, but I know there is another clip, so I'm going to refrain from commenting on certain things until the second clip is also played. So regarding this clip, I don't think a lot of people understand that he is telling this from his point of view. He also plays a lot of video games. He is a massive fan of Quake and he has his own LAN set up. Although I think Joe failed to realise that not everybody feels the same way as himself. A lot of people don't just play video games to waste time. A lot of people use video games to just escape from their reality. So a lot of people have anxiety or depression or problems at their home, and they use video games to sort of escape to another world and to become their own person and become everything that they can't see themselves becoming in real life. It's a coping mechanism for a lot of people. And I'm sort of speaking from experience. So when I think of my childhood, it wasn't the best childhood, but I feel like I invested a lot of time into video games. And I don't mean waste, I say invested, mainly because I don't know what else I would have been doing if I wasn't playing video games. I didn't have no money. I had hardly any friends. I had a bad home life. It wasn't the worst, don't get me wrong, it really wasn't. And I invested a lot of time playing an online video game, and the friendships I made from that, you can't get them anywhere else. So I think that Joe has slightly missed the point with his concept on video gamers, although I know a lot of people do waste a lot of time on video games, but I think it just depends on how you see it. So I'm going to play the next clip and comment on what else he says.
And my kids, I don't know if you're going through this, but my kids are now saying, well, Dad, this guy made all this money with this video game.
That's real too. That's
right?
real too now.
So like, that's 1 in a billion, kid. Like,
I don't know if it's 1 in a billion, but, look, I heard the same argument about comedy. My own parents were like, do you know how few people make it as a comedian? I was like, okay, does anybody make it? Somebody makes it, right? They figure out how to do it. They make a living. I'm going to do that. Yeah. Just stop. I know what I'm doing. I was real lucky that my parents were not around very much, so I didn't get much advice. So I figured it out myself. So there was no one telling me I couldn't do it.
Got it.
So
green fields.
I was like, I'm going to find my way through this. And since no one's telling me it's impossible, no one's telling me I can't. Occasionally I would hear someone say, what are the odds? I'm like, listen to this fucking loser. That's my thought was always like, that guy's a loser. Like, if you think like that, you're a loser. But there are kids that make a lot of fucking money playing video games. But the thing is, like, you have to be adaptable. You have to be able to play multiple video games, because the one video game that you get really good at, what are the odds that's going to be around 5 years from now?
Right.
So this is just my opinion, but I do kind of agree with Joe. He does understand that, yeah, you can make it big, but he also understands that it's going to be extremely, extremely hard to make it big playing video games. And I think the way he said it came across completely wrong. He said, oh, when I was younger, I wanted to be a comedian and there was no one to stand in my way and say that's a really hard career, so I went for it anyway. But nowadays, the video game industry, there's so many people trying to make an income from video games, it's going to be extremely hard. So I think he's trying to discourage a lot of people from wasting their time, even though I don't think that's the main reason why people play video games. I think people play video games for fun, entertainment, to bond with other people online, and maybe just to escape from reality. yeah, there are certain people out there who want to play video games and want to make it a career, but that's down to them. And I'm pretty sure most people are completely aware how hard that is to do these days. But the way that Joe came across in this video, it just seemed like he was saying video games are a massive waste of time. You have to keep up with the newest games, and he doesn't recommend it. However, he failed to mention that he has wasted a lot of time and a lot of money on Quake. He's failed to mention that people don't stick around just for video games. They stick around for the personality types playing those video games. And I'm pretty sure he failed to mention a lot of other aspects about video gaming, like escapism and how people play it for fun, or some people just play it for like 20 minutes a day. I know, a lot of people are like, wait, what? I play it for 8 hours a day. But a lot of people just sit down, they have 1 or 2 matches, they're like, I'm done, I'm gonna go do something else. Sometimes it's just downtime for people, and I think he failed to realize, or maybe to just state, that people have numerous reasons for having hobbies and playing video games. And I say playing video games and hobbies because you can relate that to any hobby. So he mentioned previously Taekwondo, and that he makes it sound like it's easy to just run your own dojo after you reach a certain tier in Taekwondo. And I'm really sorry if any of my language is completely wrong, because I've never done Taekwondo, so I don't know how easy it is. But he makes it sound like it's like, oh, okay, I'll just get my purple belt and then I'll just run my own dojo and I'll have a Lamborghini. And do you know what I mean? It sounds like that, but you can do that with any hobby. You just need to have enough patience, time. You have to have the right personality type or the right mindset. So with Taekwondo, if you're not very good at Taekwondo, how can you run your own dojo? Yeah, you can practice and practice and practice and practice and get better, but there will always be somebody better than you. Same as video games. There will always be somebody better. Same with archery. They will always see somebody better. Football, always somebody better. And it takes that dedication. I feel like any hobby that you want to turn into a career will take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and sometimes a lot of money. And that's fine, but people stick around for personalities and skills and numerous different reasons. So you might, for example, in Taekwondo, you have to have the skills. You also have to have the health and safety, the first aid. You have to have the knowledge. There's so many different things, not just the technique, but the knowledge. You have to have it all rolled up into one. So it's not only one aspect in a hobby that you have to be good at. It's depending on what hobby, depends on what aspect you have to be good at. And I've waffled on about this too long, so I'll get back to my original point. I feel like Joe, if he had reworded it to say, I feel like video games are a massive waste of time, but I play them, and that's my thing, and I don't mind wasting time. But if you want to play video games, go for it. It's just, you might not be able to come out with a career. I think everybody would be fine with it, but the way he said it probably wasn't good. And I think I've probably missed a lot of points in the full video because I've just taken the bits that I picked up on and I wanted to talk about. And again, this is just my opinion. So if you guys have anything else to say about this whole Joe Rogan situation, because everybody seems to be like, whoa, he's going OTT on video games, then let me know. Just leave a comment down below and don't forget to like and subscribe. So thanks for watching. Bye guys!